Now, poetry.
I play with the black pieces, I play with the white pieces. As I learn theory, my elo increases. The road to 1000 series is dead. And Patrick, it looks like you are inbred. The London is boring, I hear you say. But the win rate doesn't lie, so it's here to stay. Winning positions, big and small. Today we're going to see how I lost them all. I'm sorry about the rhyming, it's just the poetry came to me today. Do you ever have one of those days where you just keep queuing up for games and you keep doing alright and actually get winning positions, but then there's that one move you just continuously do throughout the day that just makes it go from winning position all the way to mate in 1. Today we're going to see not one game, not 2 games, but 6 games where that happened to me. They were all played in the same day, and let me tell you, as a comeback from chess after a little break, this did not fill me with very much confidence. But let's go into it. Today is going to be a little bit different. Whereas we usually start from the beginning of the game all the way to the end, I'm just going to show you the most action-packed part of the game. As you can see, I started off with the Caro-Kann. I am up 1 point, which I won a pawn in the opening. And now, as you can see, I just moved my knight to c6 in order to challenge his knight on d4. What happens now? He pushes a pawn. I'm thinking fine, I was gonna trade pieces anyways, and that even creates a very weak pawn that makes it so that he can't move his knight, and I just need to move my knight in a better position, so I do that. And now he trades bishops, that's fine, I have my queen defending it. And from here, we have a queen move, and I do this. Now, why did I make this move? This is not a good move. This is a nothing move. I should have been more proactive here. I should maybe have moved my queen up to check. That would, you know, put his knight here and pinned it. But I didn't see it, and I wasn't sure. You can see how much time I'm down compared to him. So I was thinking, all right, in the end game, I don't want to be down by too much time. So I began making nothing moves, and that is not a good idea. Because the reason why I did this is I'm pretty comfortable with my positions on the board. So I did a nothing move before castling. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to castle this way anyway, so my king would have had an escape route. Because both of the bishops are off the board. So I feel like the light squares are just as safe as long as I get this queen traded away. But he castles, I castle. Should I have castled before? Absolutely yes. But the game continues. And as the keen viewers might see, this knight is pinned right now because it's also attacking my queen if I move the knight. Now, I don't really see this. I just see this annoying pawn. And yeah. He doesn't even take it away. And now I do probably the stupidest thing that you can do in this scenario. I take the fucking knight, losing my queen. And as you see on the eval bar, it's all but lost. Now, as we can see, if I had not taken the trade, but instead reinforced, once he then would have taken my knight, I take here. If he's not happy with the equal position, I'm still in the better position, right? So if he decides to take, I take, he retakes, and I'm in the winning position. But even this is just fine. Even if he just did this, even if this is all I got from it, was trading of knights. Because he has a lot of weaknesses in his position. These are not really weak, but yeah. So that's the first game. In this next game, I opened up with the London opening, and in classic fashion, I have now infiltrated with my light square bishop on his a8 rook and actually taken it, getting it out of the game. Now I join the game where I've just made an aggressive knight move into the middle of his position. I can do that because I have my rook defending. And as you can see on the eval bar, this game is pretty much over. Or is it? Let's see what happens. First, I'll lose my bishop. It's okay, no worries, we got the knight in a very good position for that. Plus, we technically just traded 3+ points. And I am actually up 5 points. And as you can see, I just keep gobbling out the pawns, getting my black square bishop in a very aggressive position as well. Now he takes my knight. I actually oversaw this in the middle of the game. Now I can just take here with a check. This is fine. Now he goes back with the king. I go back my black square bishop. I'm a little bit intimidated, and that's why I retreat my black square bishop. And that is the beginning of the end for me, because he moves his rook into this place, and now I only have one option for the keen viewer. This is mate in 1. Now I can still stop this. I can move my rook up. I could move my queen down. I could do a load of different things. Moving my rook up here though throws away mate in 1. And that's the second game. In this next game, we find me willingly giving up a full knight. Now, the reason why I do this is because I have now charged up my cannons and I'm ready to checkmate him on h7. But as the keen viewers might be able to see, the king can actually escape from here, which I was not able to see. So he takes my knight, I go in, and I'm like, why didn't the game end? Why didn't the game fucking end? Oh god. So he moves back here, and now we're going to see how this completely winning game, I'm 6 points up in the eval bar, and we're going to see how I completely lose it. Alright, so I decide to take the free pawn. He decides to trade, creating weaknesses in my center. Not really well done by me, but right now I just need to oversimplify the game while I'm still 3 points ahead. Okay? And now he retakes the pawn. That apparently goes the eval bar way up. Maybe there's a way to get the queen that I'm not seeing. But he can then check me. This is fine. I block with the rook. I'm still fine. I'm a little bit confused as what to do with my queen. I see that he can do this next time. But that's not really a threat because I can just take it because he can't retake the queen. But I then move back in order to back his queen off so I can get this rook into the game. And he does. And now I go in for a check. He blocks it. I should probably have traded here because all he can take back with is his king, putting it in a very vulnerable position. Maybe forcing a queen trade. Not like that though. That just loses the queen. But basically, this is what happens. I completely, right here, I'm spotting a free pawn and getting this. Since I was thinking, all right, in the end game, I can then push on this side. But as the keen viewers might see, the eval bar has dropped way down to even now. The reason why, he pushes away my queen. I force him to do what we talked about earlier. And now I take another pawn with a check. This is fine. He blocks it and then blocks in his rook. I really wanted to be able to move my rook here, but as you can see, it's still pinned by his queen. So I just go down to check, and I then fuck up the entire game by this one pawn move. I should have backed up my rook here, because as you can see, his rook is now defending, also attacking this rook, which means that his queen can move in, and I can't retake with the king. Now I'm down a full rook. Jesus Christ. And I'm also in a very bad position because I really need to retreat my queen now if I'm able to save it. But even if I did, I wouldn't really be able to save it. Right now, there's a mate in 1 on the board. He didn't really see it. There's still mate in 1. I just take his queen. And there it is. Mate in 3 from that point on. It was forced mate. In this next game, we're going to see where I got the queens off the board early in the game, making the game way more simple. And here we arrive at the crucial moment. You can see I have the advantage. I'm 6.3 points up on the eval bar, and we're ready to continue the game. He pushes my rook away, but as you can see, this pawn is completely free with a check even better. He goes in to threaten this rook, forcing me to move it. I go over to force this side of his pawns. He's unable to save it. And here's the crucial moment. There's a right way to trade and there's a wrong way to trade. Today we're going to see the wrong way to trade. So I see that he's attacking my rook. I don't know why I think like this. I just do. I'm thinking, okay, but I can also just threaten his rook up here. And that is exactly what I do. Now, why is this so stupid? You can see it on the eval bar. Because when he takes, yes, I can retake. But now he just retakes. And even then, I'm still up 3 points because when we started the game, at least in the review here, I was up 2 full knights. And I'm still up 2 full knights, but now I'm missing also the bishop. And we're even on rooks. So I really need to improve my knight movements here. And as you're going to see, that's not going to happen. But I continue with my plan with the rook. I'm gonna continue, you know, destroying over here, so it's not a threat in the end game. I'm also on line with these pawns, looking pretty good. He decides to threaten my pawn because he really wants to push these guys. Now, why I don't move my knight to also threaten this is a mystery to me, because then I would threaten even more. This is a nothing move, because yes, it threatens this, but it really does nothing to this over here. I would also jump down and then defended it, but basically anything that I didn't do, I take, he then pushes his pawns, now I go down to defend, and now we're going to see how I make myself suffocate in my own position. Now, he continues to push the pawns. I don't really know what to do about this pawn. I should probably just have taken it, even though it's not a worth trade for me, because this spells trouble now. Because now he can take this, promote, I have to retake, and then he takes here with check, making me unable to take back, and that is exactly what happens. I moved my king over, so I was thinking that I could take back the rook, and maybe be in a fine position. But of course he doesn't have to take the rook. And I'm still in a winning position, but then I make this absolutely horrible fork. The idea is there. The idea is definitely there, but I forgot all about this bishop. And sometimes they just snipe you from afar, and now we're in a completely equal position. These 3 pawns are the same value as this bishop, but I have 2 minutes left on the clock, 3 minutes to be, you know, generous. And I don't have these pawns connected. He can just move his king over. So I just decide, fuck it, I'm gonna resign. That was a pretty weak-minded by me. I think you should always fight in these positions, because regardless, you're going to learn something about endgames. And bringing this home would have been great, but I just doubt it. And after losing your knight here, your last advantage, it just, you know, it's so demoralizing. But that's how the weak-minded of us do in these kinds of scenarios. Next game. In game 5, we meet a very standard London. The only thing that is really out of the ordinary in it is that he pushed his pawns really early, and I just decided to take. And he also pushed this pawn, and then I decided to take. And then he developed his bishop, and then retook this pawn on this square. Now, from here, I just move my knight into the position that I want to anyway, because I can see that I can make an attack over on this side since he's already castled over here. But I then decide to take. This is fine, equal trade. Now, if this is really my idea, to attack on this side, you can probably see that this knight is defending. Yeah, I couldn't. Let me just tell you that. I move my queen over. He forces my queen back. It's fine. I'm not really too worried. He keeps chasing my queen. And here I'm thinking, that fucking idiot. He didn't even see the fucking maiden one. And I go up here. And the game doesn't stop. The game doesn't fucking stop. And I'm looking at this for a few seconds and I'm like, what? This is how I used to do it. And there we go. That's a queen trade, or queen blunder, sorry. And that's resigned from me. Next game. In our final game, I start out with a knight sack, with a check, forcing him to retake with his queen. And that is so I can gobble up his rook with my black square bishop. Very nice. That gives me a little bit of an advantage, and a big advantage in the end game should we get there. Now he pushes his pawns, which he's been pushing a lot on this side. There are a lot of weaknesses in the structure as well. I like this position for my side of the board. Now I take. He then retakes for the check. I move my king. He then checks me again. And as you can see on the eval bar, this is all gone to shit now. I lose that black square bishop with a check. And I just continue moving my king in absolutely horrendous ways. Now, to defend my rook here in a good way, I would say, I decide to move my queen up and also threaten this, connecting these rooks, making him unable to take here. I think that is a fine move. That is a very good castling, because the pawn that I just began to threaten here, he can, you know, now defend. So I go up to check. This is just desperado moves. And this pawn moves also very good. I can't really do anything. And yeah, now you see the position is actually equal here. And I just gobble up some more pawns, but that fucking sucks, because now I'm trapping my own queen. And as you can see, there's mate in 12. But we're both of these guys myself included, is rated 700. We're not going to see mate in 12. And my opponent didn't either. And I take a free pawn over here. Actually, also completely forgetting that I'm also defending here. Now he decides to humiliate me even more, taking my queen instead of my rook. And yeah, I lose the rook again, not realizing that the only reason why I was defended was because of the connection between them. And they lost the magic, sadly. Now from here, the game just evolves into me losing everything. I actually think I only pre-move all these things. Sometimes I just do that in rage. I just pre-move my queen left, right, and center. And yeah, that was the last game. To me, a very, very non-triumphant way to return to chess. Very sad way, but I'm back now. I've experienced a big chess burnout and I'm just slowly getting back into the game. I'm still going to stream it every single Wednesday, but the Road to 1000 series is not going to come out every single Wednesday, as you probably have, noticed it's not there. And that is because I just don't have the ideas. I need more time to get the knowledge right, but I also want the videos to be more about learning different openings and actually becoming better at chess instead of the shit that I produced lately. And that's going to take a little bit more time, but that is the time I'm willing to put into it. And I'm still going to play chess, just in a way less degree and more as a hobby, because it was getting a little too much for me. But enough meandering for me. See ya.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling.